Hello and welcome once again to the Comedy on Demand podcast. Comedian Matthew Murray for episode 3 of 10,000. We're going to stop. When I hit 10,000 weekly episodes, that will be it. It's nice to have a finish line. It's nice to have a goal in mind. And when we get there, it will be great. I am comedian Matthew Murray. Thank you so much for the half of the audience that stayed from episode 1 to episode 2. By episode 3, if I can keep half. Some podcasts feel a lot of pressure to grow their audience. Not me. If I can get this down to just my wife and my neighbor by episode 5, I think we'll be good. Because then all I need to do is just list groceries and stuff, and that'd be great. But for everyone who's sticking with me, I appreciate it. Once again, dates coming up, April 20th, this Saturday, I will be at the Yorkton Terriers Hot Stove Lounge Banquet in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. Probably still some tickets available for that. And May the 3rd, I will be appearing at Yuck Yucks here in Saskatoon. Tickets are available on the Parktown website and all over my social media. I'm getting my social media going. I finally got some help on this. And I'll tell you, if you really want to increase the number of incoming spam messages you get, just boost one post. I just did a show for Robert, the Kinsman. Fantastic night we had last weekend. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But I noticed ever since I put $20 in and said, hey, boost this post, I get 3 to 5 messages every single day saying, hello, Mr. Instagram user. We do not know if this is your account. Please click here and give us your password and credit card number to verify that you are the owner of this account. So I think the real key to increasing your visibility online is try to appeal to as many bots as possible. I'm now getting spam emails. I'm getting requests to redo my website. People who are assuring me they can get me on the first page of Google. I'm getting email threats. We're starting to experience more hacking attempts. I'm getting prompts in my email saying, hey, you tried your password and it didn't work. So this is great. I can't wait to experience all the other wonderful side benefits of having a more public profile. Like, I'll probably be abducted at some point and held for ransom. Should be great to experience all of that. So that's my tip for today. If you're trying to grow your digital presence and you're thinking, man, I'm just not getting enough spam, phishing attacks, hacking attacks, and people pretending to be an administrator for my account, then boost a post, and it works. I even get emails from myself now. I get emails from Matthew Murray, like Matthew Murray at blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and the problem is I actually do email myself quite a bit. Whenever I'm at a business meeting or I'm trying to remind myself of doing something, what I will do is I will send myself an email because that shows up in my inbox and then I read it later and go, oh yeah, I need to do that. So me emailing myself is not unheard of. That actually doesn't flag as anything alarming in my world. But then when I get an email from myself to reset my own password because I've locked myself out of myself, that does get my attention. Had the chance to be on stage with the delightful Mike Dambra and Adrian Creel out of Edmonton at the Kinsman second annual comedy fundraiser night. We had a great time. That is a generous town. Those people really know how to give. Everyone was there for a good time, and it was awesome. Gave me a chance to debut my brand new signs, which Mr. Dambra rightly pointed out basically look like a realtor sign. But I'm trying to get more people at the show following me. So what I have designed is a very similar to the design you see on this Comedy on Demand podcast graphic, but rather than the Comedy on Demand logo that I'm holding above my hand, it's a QR code. What I failed to realize was nowhere on the sign did I put why you should scan that QR code. Like, does scanning that QR code win you a prize or enter a draw or go to my website? So that was pretty dumb. So and they're expensive. The signs I ordered were like, they're a 4 millimeter thick hard plastic because I tend to break stuff. So I sunk quite a few bucks into these. And I got them, and then I realized no one is scanning them because they don't know why they should scan them. So I got a reprint done now. On the bottom, it'll say follow me with all the social media icons, and those ones should be ready here for next week in Yorkton. But live and learn. Live and learn. I'm learning. I'm pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, and I'm podcasting. I'm creating content. I'm going to have some edited videos of my comedy starting to be posted. I'm trying to get out there, so to speak. What do I want to talk about this week? Oh, I noticed the Masters is going. It's a golf thing. This is not sports related. This will not be a big sportsy channel. I talk about sports in the way that a very, very ridiculously casual viewer who could not tell you who the starting lineup is on any of the hockey teams or any of the anything. I can't tell you any stats. I can't tell you nothing. I do enjoy sports for the live aspect of it. Like, hey, this is happening right now and I'm sharing an experience with other people. But other than that, don't care. But the Masters are this week, and or maybe they were last. I heard the Masters in a headline somewhere. So they're happening somewhere in relation to today. And one of the big issues in golf is sports washing, where sports clothes are incredibly filthy because athletes sweat and they need their clothes cleaned repeatedly. So sports washing is what I thought sports washing was, and it's not. Apparently, Google, being your friend, sports washing is when horrible countries who like to murder people decide, let's sponsor sporting events so people don't think we're horrible. And it seems to work, apparently. So if I'm a corporation and I'm polluting the ocean, or I'm a bad politician, or I'm a government, what I'll do is I'll put a bunch of money into sports, and then people are like, oh wow, that's the, I don't know what that vibrating sound is on the back, or if the microphone's even picking that up, but tremendously annoying to me. And we don't do retakes on this. But basically, sports washing is you put all the money in, everyone looks, hey, look over here at all the sports we're doing, yay, sports ball, and ignore all these horrible things we're doing to the planet. And I, for one, feel like there's an opportunity here for comedy washing. How, if any of these horrible countries or disreputable companies that are just doing terrible things to the world, but in return are enormously wealthy, would like to comedy wash their image by supporting me, that could be great. So we could have Comedy on Demand or comedian Matthew Murray coming to a town near you, and the benefits of the show brought to you by some horrific oil company or corrupt government, or maybe a gun manufacturer. That'd be great if your guns have been killing. What I'm saying is, if you know you're doing something bad, give me money. I think if everybody who's listening to this knows they're doing something bad and sent me some money, then things could work out great. So comedy washing, I think, should be a thing. I think that comedy is laughter. It promotes happiness, and that's what you're trying to do, because whatever you're doing that's bad that you're washing is making people sad. So why wash it with sports when you could wash it with laughter? So comedy washing is a concept that I would like to get out. And while I'm trying to get bad people to give me money, if pharmaceutical companies could give me more drugs too, that would be great. I don't do any illegal, illicit drugs, but I do have prescriptions because I'm old. And I went to London Drugs the other day, and on the doorway it said there is a limited stock of narcotics available on the premises. And my guess is that's a theft deterrent, that if I'm jonesing or I'm a drug dealer or what's the guy above a drug dealer? A drug lord, I guess, which is a weird title. That's kind of like what we used to call kings. Oh, the lord of drugs, and I shall go to his kingdom, and he shall bless upon me a pony full of Vicodin. No, I don't know. I don't know what the term, obviously I'm not involved in crime because I don't know crime words. But maybe if I'm thinking, I'd like to go steal some narcotics, where could I get them? London Drugs. Oh, look on the door. Only a limited supply. Probably not worth the risk of getting caught. I won't steal those narcotics. Thank you for labeling the door. I will now go rob another pharmacy that does not have that label, which would probably have ample narcotics. I think that's the goal of that sign on the door. I just felt like if they're limited supply, I wanted them more. Like usually in economics, supply and demand, like if hey, limited quantities available, or the McRib's only here for 3 weeks, oh, I better go get a McRib right now. So if you got a limited supply of narcotics, like just give me whatever narcotics I can have right now, because they're limited and I don't want to run. What if there's a shortage and I don't have my narcotics? So, bad people, comedy washing, send money. Anyone with unlimited narcotics, please send some narcotics. Boy, this could get banned real quick, this one. Everything here being said in jest. What else have we got here? This is a big week for me. The day job, doing a big company retreat this week. I'm going to be meeting with everybody. So the Waking Up 170 program, trying to drop the weight, is I'm maintaining well. I'm going to the gym. The weight's going up, but the numbers on the scale are staying the same. So I'm going back to ketosis here this week. If you're not familiar with ketosis, it means that you're healthy and happy and don't have to look at diet sites and health sites because you're enjoying your life. So congratulations. If you are familiar with ketosis, it basically is you cutting all the carbs out so that your body eats itself, because you are delicious. Your body would love to eat itself, but it doesn't, because you fill it full of carbohydrates. Because, and none of this is health advice, by the way. I'm not, this is in no way, this is a comedian. Please do not listen to anything I say and then change any dietary eating patterns in your life. But you should probably. You probably should. You're probably eating something you shouldn't, or you should be eating more of something you're not. So yeah, go ahead and make some changes. Would be a good idea. But the idea being, your body can basically burn carbohydrates for energy or burn body fat. And that's from thousands of years of evolution, where we didn't know what our next meal was coming from. So our body just stored it all up as fat. And then when we didn't eat for a couple of weeks, the body would go, no problem. I'll just go to the First National Bank of Fat and make a withdrawal, and that will keep this body going, and that'll power the brain and the lungs and the kidney and the spleen and all these things that need energy. But your body won't access your fat reserves, your fat savings, unless you're out of carbohydrates. It's kind of like how you shouldn't touch your money savings until you don't have a paycheck. So basically, I fired food. Food was like this person that was working here every day, and we have a bad relationship. And now they're leaving, so now I'm going to go to my savings account and start. And I've got a lot of savings. Let me tell you, there's plenty of additional fat on this body. So once your body starves out of carbohydrates for a couple of days, it goes, kind of need to keep this organism alive, and he doesn't seem to be eating carbohydrates anymore. Hey, look at all this energy we got stored up over here by the left nut and the love handle and the fatty deposit here. Let's crank some of that out. And then your body starts to burn that. So I am going to keep high protein. I am going to keep in the gym. And hopefully my body goes, oh, he actually cares about himself. Let's burn off some of this body fat, which should help, because we're about to enter the 6 weeks of the calendar year that Saskatchewan knows as summer. It's narrow, but it's nice. One thing I don't have time for is this podcast, so I'm stopping it now. Goodbye. Click. I am at a level of productivity that is heretofore unknown. I cannot believe how busy I am right now, keeping the comedy going, the day job, getting this podcast going, trying to resurrect my social media. If anybody here, if you're listening to this, you know me, because why would a stranger be listening to this? But I am working all day, every day. And when I had my show in Kerrobert on Friday night, I went and bought a what's called a retro cat. Shout out to them, not a plug. None of this is sponsored. I'm a huge video game guy. It comes with the ponytail. Grew up playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and like most old people, I don't like anything new. So by the PlayStation 4, I was already starting to tune out. I wasn't really enjoying new games. I wanted to play arcade games from when I was a kid, or Nintendo games, or Super Nintendo games. And the RetroCat is a platform. It's like I don't know what it is underneath, okay? It's got a sticker on it that says RetroCat. I don't know if it's a Raspberry Pi or a Koku Boku or an Android. I don't know. I don't know the bits and the bytes. All I know is the thing's got like 10,000 games on it, and every video game from when I was a kid playing Pong and Space Invaders through to the first PlayStation with most of those good games. And it's amazing. And you plug it in HDMI to your TV, and it's great. We redid our living room here about 2 years ago, and I got the brilliant idea because the controllers are wireless, and we wanted, like, I tell you, if there's one thing my wife likes, it's wires. She's big on wires. That's wrong. She hates wires with a passion. So the living room needed to be wireless. There could be no charging station full of cords and devices, nothing hanging off the bookshelves. So I got the great idea of attaching the RetroCat, because it's about the size of a cell phone, to the back of the television, because the controllers are wireless. Controllers go in the drawer, pull it out, change it over to video games. You're playing, and it works, and it's great. Except I'm not allowed to use my television because my daughter is 8, and apparently the old school idea of, hey, the people that pay for the things in the house get to use them, that's no longer a thing. So my daughter gets the television all day, which is fine. I like kids' television. I like Bluey. I like Trolls. I actually don't have I find most kids' entertainment quite entertaining. Captain Underpants, not my thing, but other than that, hey, it's on in the background. She's happy. We're watching it together. Usually it's fairly comedic, no problem. But the kids got the TV through the day. And then when she goes to bed, the wife would like to watch a reality show or a house or something, which means now I need to stay up until 10 or 11 o'clock when everybody has gone to bed before I can play my video games. And if you know any of those older games, you kind of want to play them for a little bit. Like if you want to get any Final Fantasy or any of those, you got to get into them. So it just hasn't been happening, which sucks because the thing was expensive. And my wife was like, why'd you even buy that if you haven't had time to play it? So I got another one. I got the exact same thing, another RetroCat, but this one is all in a tablet. It's relatively similar in size to a Nintendo Switch, but it's got the D-pad on the left, it's got 2 thumbsticks, it's got all the buttons, and again, 10,000 games. Nintendo, arcade games, Sega Genesis. It's amazing. So now I don't have to fight over the television anymore. So what I can do is I figured, look, I'm going to Kerrobert, which is a delightful small town in Saskatchewan, but not the most nightlife, to be fair. So after a show, comedians were highly wound up. We've been on stage. We've got an adrenaline kick. It's hard to come down. That's when the window to overeating happens. That's when the window to over-alcoholing happens. What I'll do, I'll take my little video game system and 2 hours. I should be allowed 2 hours in an average week to say, look, you know what? I did my day job all day. I did my night job all night. I was a good father. I'm allowed 2 hours in a week of literal free time where I can play my game. And I took it and I did not get a chance to turn it on. Broke my heart. Because I was the MC for this gig and I had these new signs, I got to the gig early, sound checks, mic checks, get the stage all set up, working with the client. Then the show itself, then after the show, grabbed a bite. And then at 11 o'clock, I was exhausted, passed out, woke up, drove back to town the next morning right after I woke up because kids got a birthday party to go to. And I want to be there for that because they only have so many. So I have probably $1,000 wrapped up now in retro video gaming that I can't seem to find time to ever touch. So what's the solution? Start a podcast. Yes, do something else that takes more time. So this will be the last episode of the Comedy on Demand podcast because I want to play Dragon Warrior 2. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep doing this, but no one wants to hear me complain. What am I going to do? Complain to my wife that I can't play with my toys? She loves hearing that. If there's one thing a wife loves, it's when her man complains that he can't play with his toys. So I complain here. I complain here because there's no one pushing back on me, and I can just get away with it. So last thing I'll mention, coming up on summer vacation, I'll be going down to Vegas. Vegas is my home away from home. If you're in Vegas right now and you want to get me to move to Vegas and help me move to Vegas, that'd be great. I love it. We love Las Vegas in our family. And if there's one thing about Las Vegas that I love the most, it's that they've taken away the decision on when you should turn left. Stay with me on this. When you're in Vegas and you're at a red light, when the light goes green, if you're going straight, those lights are solid green. The left turn is a left turn arrow, and that's it. On 99% of the intersections, there's none of this solid green, turn left if you can, yield on solid green. People are so incapable of quality critical thinking. And if there's one really important decision when you're driving your car, it's when should I turn left? Okay, I've got a set amount of time here in the intersection. I have oncoming traffic. I need to know how fast my car will accelerate, how much room once I turn left is in the lane that I'm going into. I think I can turn left now. None of that in Vegas. Here in Saskatoon, I will drive an excessively complicated route to avoid left turns. No one in this town is capable of making the left turn decision. I will plan my routes around only routes that I know have a dedicated left turn light. Because to sit there and watch the guy go, light turned green. Guess so. I'm not even going to do the full act out. It's painful. I hate it. And then I don't like to do it either. I don't like to be the person at the light and I've pulled a quarter of the way into the intersection and the guy behind me has pulled in because he wants to make this light and the guy behind him is being a dickbag and he wants to make the light as well. And now it's all on me, right? So the guy behind me is like, I could have made that. You could have gone there. And I make a different set of decisions, whether it's just me in the car or me and the family in the car. And I have a tiny car. My car is a Spark. It's a tiny little 4-cylinder, very, very small car. This car is small enough that I can substantially feel the difference in acceleration when I have another adult and an 8-year-old child in the car. It actually impacts the acceleration that much. Put the air conditioning on as well and forget about it. You can step on the pedal and the car basically goes, yeah, okay. So there's no slipping in to any narrow windows of opportunity anywhere. It's great for parking. I can tuck this car into anywhere that isn't really a parking spot and boom, parking spot. So that's great. Once I get there, life is great. But getting anywhere, a left turn is terrible. So if you want to see just how good the judgment of mankind is, it's evidenced in left turns. We do need to get to self-driving cars immediately. If we just took left turns out of North America's decision-making tree, world peace. Easily. Just getting that horrible decision off our plate and clearing up our minds would be everything that would be enough additional mental capacity for us to get done everything else that we've been meaning to get done. And maybe if I didn't have to wait at so many left turns, I'd have some time to play my video games. That would be nice. Okay, well, this is it for episode 3. It's a shorter episode, and they're getting shorter because I'm already getting tired of hearing myself. But usually about 25 minutes is what I'm aiming for. This is a big week. I've got a huge conference this week, lots of head cheeses from my company in town. Then I've got a show coming up here this Saturday in Yorkton, so I'll be going through that. So next week I'll have the story of how that was. Huge thank you again to the town of Kerrobert, all the businesses there for supporting that event with the Kinsmen. Can't wait to work with them again next year. And follow me. Follow all of my socials and share this so that I don't run out of audience by episode 5. So this is the Comedy On Demand podcast with comedian Matthew Murray, and I should have a cool send-off tagline, but I don't.